Hello and welcome to another update video about Cardano. In this video we're going to take a look at what the Cardano price is doing, also what Bitcoin is doing, and we are starting straight away with Bitcoin. Then we take a look at the ADA USD chart and also at the total crypto market cap. So Bitcoin currently, obviously yesterday went all the way up to 67,000. Today was a bit of a bloodbath. I mean, I think on Binance US we could see actually the Bitcoin price drop by 87% in a minute or so, before it then went up. I don't really know why it was only on Binance US. I would need to do a bit of more research for that, but I could only see it on Binance US. On the other ones you can't really see it, but we could see a very sharp drop in a very short period of time, and we haven't since then recovered fully from that. So yeah, it is currently a little bit of a correction, and I did point that out in my previous videos that the market was overheated. There is potential based on, you know, Bitcoin indicators and indicators that we can move up further, because even though we are in extreme greed, based on the fear and greed indicator, we haven't reached that level yet that we had at the same time last year, or even, you know, we are pretty much where we were at the same time last year, but after that we moved even higher last year, so we haven't even reached these levels yet. So there is scope, more scope for the upside. But what the chart indicators are telling us, or were telling us, is just that the market is very much overheated here. Yeah, so even there is a little bit more scope to the upside, but you know, with an RSI of 77 or so, to get to 100k in my view is not really possible. So there is a need for a little bit of a cool down now. And also the MACD, I mean, look at the MACD. It is as high as it has been last time when we were here on the 21st of Feb, and there wasn't much move to the upside possible since then, you know, after that. So just wanted to make you aware of that these indicators just point towards a little bit of a correction. Now, how strong will that correction be? Now, that is very difficult to answer. I did say in previous videos that there is still the possible scenario that we haven't actually seen the completion of that correction here yet. I mean, we came all the way, of this correction here, here, that we haven't seen the completion of that correction yet. So obviously we came down in that flash crash here, you know, and then since then we've been moving up again and have made very nice profits. But overall, you know, this could still be an overshooting B wave, and then an A, B, and the C to the downside. That is all possible still, and is not invalidated in any way in terms of the Elliott Wave method. That is still a possible scenario. So I just want to make you aware that this could still happen, that we could get a little bit of a longer retracement still. What makes me a little bit nervous is that everybody now thinks it will go to 100k from here. Everybody's like shouting 100k, everybody's hyping it. That always makes me wonder and makes me a bit skeptical, especially, you know, if people, you always say, you know, when the taxi driver is starting to talk about Bitcoin, you know, that is when you need to get worried. And when people, you know, family members, also I'm being asked, you know, I want to get into Bitcoin and everything. That is the problem. You know, people didn't like Bitcoin when it was at 30,000, but suddenly when it's like twice the price, people start to love it. And that is what is difficult. And then these weekends are oftentimes being shaken out. That leads to more corrections and so on. So it just is to be aware, be prepared for a retracement, be prepared for a correction. And there isn't really much, I think personally, you can do other than preparing yourself mentally for it. If you sell in panic, obviously you realize losses, and again, it depends on your strategy. That is why I love long-term holding. But we don't want to spend too much time with Bitcoin. We want to take a look at Cardano, and you can see here on the Kraken chart that Cardano actually came down to 180, and that is significant. You know, that is really significant. It came down to 180. You can't see that on the Coinbase chart. On Coinbase it came down to $2 and Binance US, but on Kraken it came down to 180. Absolutely ridiculous. In a minute. It took a minute and then it was all bought up again. Now it still suffered some losses, and still suffered from there, in the sense that we have not managed to get back into the triangle. Unfortunately, we are back in the triangle, unfortunately, because we managed to break out already. And it's a bit like, you know, when Cardano is breaking out, then suddenly Bitcoin drops. It's at the moment a little bit like that. So yeah, you can see that huge candle to the downside, and that was, you know, I don't know if it was manipulation or or just a whale sold something or whatever, but it certainly led to a lot of liquidations and a lot of stop losses to be triggered. I mean, luckily on my long-term holdings I don't have any stop losses anyway, so I am still in my positions. That's obviously a disadvantage if you set stop losses, even though I would personally, if I'm going to trade short term, I would always do it, because otherwise you can't manage the risk. But for a long-term position and hodling, I wouldn't, you know, you can't do it because you normally hold it on your wallet anyway. So what Cardano is doing, unfortunately, and I go back to the 4-hour chart, we can see that we are back in this triangle, unfortunately. So I have to extend, unfortunately, that trend line of the triangle now again, and I have to readjust it later. I just want to do it for the purpose of this video quickly. So yeah, we're back in, which isn't great, and we haven't closed obviously in the candle yet. Not the 4-hour hasn't closed in the triangle yet, but it's looking like we are back in, which isn't great, which just isn't great. And yeah, we haven't recovered from that drop today, unfortunately, not fully. I mean, we are better, or we are higher than where we were yesterday at around $2.10, but yeah, and it was looking like we were nicely going to the upside. I did say we had some strong resistance upcoming here at these levels, 232 and then the 50-day moving average, but Bitcoin just messed it all up today. I'm very honest with you. Bitcoin messed it up, and Cardano hasn't recovered from that since then. So obviously I'll keep you updated. At the moment, in terms of where are we actually, I mean, on the RSI, we've dropped here on the 4-hour chart below 50. Let me check on the daily. That would be the slightly bearish range. And here also now in the on the daily, we already came, I think, into the bullish briefly, but we dropped again. So again, we stay on the daily, we stay actually in the bearish range on the RSI here. And yeah, it's all these buy signals get still a bit of a buy. Yes, we still have a buy signal here on the MACD. I mean, we made a bullish crossover, but it's currently going in the wrong direction, I think, making lower highs here on the MACD again. So yeah, I mean, again, more patience, I guess, and it makes me wonder, is this really also the Bitcoin breakout that we've all been waiting for, or is it just a little bit of a fake out like this breakout to the upside of Cardano was? And again, I think Cardano would have really mooned from here had we gone through the 50-day moving average. Unfortunately, before that happened, Bitcoin dropped really strongly today, and yeah, we also again below the 20-day moving average. So unfortunately, even though we had the volume, in my opinion, we had volume, this was all yeah, invalidated really, unfortunately. So what it means is we have to be a bit more patient, and I'm gonna dollar cost average in further, you know, adding to my positions. I still think Cardano is undervalued, yeah, still it would be great to see that continuation of the uptrend, but it was looking so good. But unfortunately, yeah, with all what was happening today, it messed it all up. Let me know what you think about what happened today. I'll definitely keep you updated, and we're going to track, and we're going to continue to track until Bitcoin again, Cardano again breaks out of the triangle again. We are unfortunately back into this, into the pattern. What is my hope is that maybe the daily candle will, within the daily candle, we'll find our way out of the triangle again, or at least on the 4-hour candle, we are going to find our way out, because at the moment the 4-hour has not closed yet in this triangle. And I think we have another hour to find our way out. To find our way out, we need to get above 217. And on the downside, I mean, we will have support down here at $2.11, $2.12. Hopefully we won't get there anymore. Hopefully we will break up to the upside again. But in my opinion, that would need a bit of a move of Bitcoin to the upside now again, because Bitcoin dragged the whole market down today. Yeah, so let's see. I mean, we are back in the triangle. That is quite a strong resistance if we can't close above that triangle again, because, you know, we've been in there now for weeks, and it's time really to get out of there. Unfortunately, today that really messed it all up. So again, hopefully you liked the update. If you did, please smash the like button and subscribe as well. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.